The $100,000 mindset shift that separates savers from investors. Let me ask you something. Imagine two people. Person number one has $100,000 sitting in their savings account. They feel pretty good about it. It's safe, it's stable. They can see the number every time they log into their bank. Person number two also has $100,000. But instead of sitting in a bank account, it's invested in things like index funds, businesses, or assets that grow over time. Now here's the crazy part. 10 years later, these two people could end up in completely different financial worlds, even though they started with the exact same amount of money. One might still have around $110,000 or $115,000 after interest, and the other could easily have $220,000, $250,000, or more. Same starting point, same money, completely different outcomes. It's a mindset shift that happens around the $100,000 mark. My name is Sam, and I spend way too much time thinking about money management and wealth accumulation. If you're someone who financially struggle with investment and rather save to keep money safe, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we're going to talk about the exact mindset shift that separates savers from investors. And more importantly, why hitting $100,000 is the moment where everything about money starts to change. The saver mindset. Alright, so let's start with something really important. Most people are taught the exact same financial advice growing up. You've probably heard this before. Save your money. Don't spend too much. Put your money in the bank. And look, this advice isn't wrong. Saving money is incredibly important. In fact, according to the Federal Reserve, about 37% of Americans wouldn't be able to cover a $400 emergency without borrowing money or selling something. So yes, saving matters. But here's the thing. Saving alone will almost never make you wealthy. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. They think, if I just keep saving more money, eventually I'll be financially secure. But mathematically, that's extremely difficult. Let me show you why. The math problem with only saving. Let's say someone saves $10,000 per year, which honestly is already pretty impressive. After 10 years, they have $100,000. After 20 years, they have $200,000. After 30 years, they have $300,000. That sounds good at first, but here's what most people don't realize. Inflation alone eats away a huge chunk of that. According to long-term economic data, inflation averages around 3% per year, which means $100,000 today might only have the buying power of around $74,000 in 10 years. So if you're only saving money, you're basically running uphill on a treadmill. You're moving, but you're not really getting ahead. The $100,000 turning point. Now this is where it gets really interesting, because there's something unique about the first $100,000. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's longtime business partner, famously said, "The first $100,000 is a bitch, but you gotta do it." And the reason is simple. Before $100,000, your money doesn't really work for you yet. You're doing almost all the work. Saving, budgeting, cutting expenses. But once you reach $100,000, something powerful starts happening. Your money starts generating meaningful returns. The compounding reality. Let's run a simple example. Imagine you have $100,000 invested. If that money grows at an average 8% return per year, which historically matches long-term stock market averages, your investment grows by $8,000 per year, without doing anything. Now think about that. That's $8,000 just from your money existing, not working extra hours, not getting a promotion, just your capital doing the work. Now here's where the real magic happens. In 10 years, that $100,000 becomes roughly $215,000. In 20 years, around $466,000. And in 30 years, about $1,006,000. This is where the psychology changes. Because once people see their money growing like this, they stop thinking like savers, and they start thinking like investors. The psychology shift. Now let's talk about something people rarely discuss in finance: the psychology of money. Because money decisions are rarely logical. They're emotional. Saving feels safe, investing feels risky, and our brains are wired to avoid risk. In fact, behavioral economists call this loss aversion, which means losing $100 feels twice as painful as gaining $100 feels good. So naturally, people choose safety. But here's the paradox. What feels safe in the short term can actually be very risky long term. Keeping all your money in cash guarantees one thing: it slowly loses value. The story of two friends.
Oh, I didn't see that coming.
Let me tell you about two hypothetical people, Mark and David, both 30 years old. Both save up $100,000. Mark decides to keep his money in a savings account earning around 2% interest. David invests his money in simple, low-cost index funds.
After 25 years, Mark's money grows to around $164,000. David's money, about $685,000. That's a $521,000 difference. Same starting money, different mindset. Now you might be thinking, okay, Sam, but investing feels risky. And honestly, you're right. Investing does involve risk. Markets go up and down. There are recessions, there are crashes. But here's the key insight. Time reduces risk dramatically. Historically, the S&P 500 has never lost money over a 20-year period when dividends are reinvested. So the longer your timeline, the more investing shifts from gambling to probability. Here's what most people don't realize. The real secret to wealth isn't extreme investing strategies. It's consistent investing over long periods of time. This is exactly how normal people become millionaires. Not lottery wins, not crypto gambles, but boring, consistent investing. According to the book The Millionaire Next Door, most millionaires live pretty normal lives. They drive normal cars, live below their means, and invest consistently for decades. The three mindset shifts that happen at $100,000. So let's break this down. Here are the three mindset shifts that separate savers from investors. 1. Money stops being security and starts being a tool. Before $100,000, money feels like protection. After $100,000, money becomes a tool for growth. Investors ask a different question, not, how do I keep this money safe? But, how do I make this money work? 2. Focus shifts from saving to growing. Saving is important, but investors realize something powerful. You can only cut expenses so much, but you can grow income almost infinitely. So instead of obsessing over $5 savings, they focus on earning, investing, and scaling. 3. Time becomes your biggest asset. Here's the most powerful idea in finance. Time multiplies money. Someone who invests $500 per month, starting at age 25, could end up with over $1 million by retirement. Someone starting at 35? Roughly half that amount. Same investment, different timeline. The practical strategy. All right, so how do you actually reach that $100,000 milestone faster? Let me give you 3 actionable strategies. Step 1. Increase your savings rate. Most people save 5 to 10% of their income. Investors aim closer to 20 to 30%. That one change alone can cut decades off the journey. Step 2. Invest consistently, not perfectly. Consistently. Index funds, ETFs, simple diversified portfolios. Consistency beats cleverness. Step 3. Increase income. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You can't out-budget a low income. Investors look for ways to increase skills, start side income, grow their career income. More income accelerates everything. The real secret. But here's the biggest insight. The real difference between savers and investors isn't knowledge. It's belief. Savers believe money should be protected. Investors believe money should be put to work. Once that shift happens, wealth building becomes inevitable. Final motivation. Look, building wealth isn't about getting lucky. But once you cross that line, everything starts to accelerate. Because at that point, you're no longer just saving money. Your money is finally working for you.
Let's compare the effort and result. This shows the stability path. Now, watch as income streams multiply. The money piles are growing so fast. That's compound growth. The initial choice is safety. Protect your money. But to build wealth, you must activate growth. This decisive move overcomes initial effort through compound growth. The result? Growing wealth over time. Starting with safety, Sam chooses to protect his money. He analyzes the path, then walks from protection towards growth. He arrives at the growth sign, ready to build wealth. Compound growth will make his wealth flourish. First, protect your money. This is the stability path. Now, let's analyze. Cross-compare your progress. The decisive move is growth. Build initial effort with compound growth.
If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about wealth building, investing strategies, and financial mindset shifts, make sure to subscribe to Drive Mastery. And if this video helped change how you think about money, give it a thumbs up so more people can discover it. Because the sooner people understand how money really works, the sooner they can start building real financial freedom. And I'll see you in the next video.